back to Inside the Jail Cell with me, Andrew Grigsby. Today we're going to be talking about writing melodies and creating a melody for a song. If you guys have made it this far, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. Been a rough start. This is all a new learning experience for me in writing this. I do hope that some of you have gotten something out of this and you guys have enjoyed what I've been doing so far. So last time we left off, I wrote a rhythm section kind of for a song. Now what we're going to do in this episode is work on creating a hook for the song. I think it's something important that when you're writing a hook is thinking about the service that you're doing for the song and how it's going to come out. One very important thing, if you ask me about when I'm writing a hook, is that I want to keep it simple. I went through quite a few different MIDI instruments when I was writing this, and what I came up with was just a simple piano. And I love the piano because the piano has a very distinct voice, and it's also something that you can that can cut through a mix pretty well. So here's the song before I put in the melody. New song does have a very similar feel to the other song that I started working on before I lost it. Still kind of that blues jazz kind of fusion vibe that we got going on with it. So I like listening to this track. I know that there are some things that I need to do better and could go back through and tweak, and I might go back through and tweak this. And I think that's something that plays a part in when we're writing music, is keeping that critical ear and the critical listening while we're listening to music, maybe noticing things that we might change or do better. But I think there's also a point where, depending on what you're doing for the song or what you're doing for the music, that you can overwork it too. And I think when you're working on music by yourself, it's very important to kind of understand that relationship of overworking it and working something too much, and also taking that time to maybe go back and adjust a few things and change a few things. So now you can hear what the rhythm part and the bass of the song sounds like. So, like I said, I chose a piano part to kind of write the hook for this. And this is what I came up with. Just something a little bit delicate. So this works, if you ask me, because a couple of things. Mirrors the chord progression that I have for the song. So chord progression is A, D, and then E. So we got your A. There's tension. And then there's the E. So the tension kind of bridges the gap between the D and the A chords. I mean, I was thinking about but just to keep the flow of it, just that simple melody. When I'm writing a melody, I want something that's pretty simple, something that's easy for the brain to recognize. And what I did in this song was I only put it in specific parts. It repeats itself in the song a few times, but then it leaves space for something else to go in there. So let's go ahead and listen to it. Okay, so there you can hear the song, and the way that kind of works in there. I'm probably still gonna need to adjust this, but you kind of see the idea of where I'm coming from, where I'm creating a simple melody. When I'm composing, I'm not afraid to go into my piano reels and adjust notes and adjust things. I think that's part of composing and writing, is adjusting things. And I think the piano reel in Logic especially is a very useful tool when you're composing music. If I was recording this live, I would probably have to hire somebody, in all honesty, to play the piano parts, or I would have to work really hard on getting the piano parts captured myself. I'm not the best piano player, but with the tools I do have, I can use them to create parts in music that I may not otherwise be able to create. And I think that's all part of the writing process and composing music. You know, we could get into whether that cheapens music of nowadays or not, just how easy it is to write music in the box. You know, I think there's a lot of discussion that we could have about that. And I think at another point, maybe we should. Maybe we should. So, that being said, if you're interested in this song, if you want the backing tracks that I used in this, if you want this track, reach out to me. Feel free. You know, I would love to hear some, if you guys have ideas, hear some of your guys' ideas of maybe how you could change this song. Reach out to me. I would like this to be more of a community channel than just me sitting here as a talking head. Especially if you're a hobbyist, if you're somebody who's sitting here in your home and you're just working on music. If you live in the Western Nevada area, you'd like to have a conversation with me, reach out. Anyways, till next time, stay creative, stay driven.